you look like, and you get to see what I look like.
I see your face in all of your videos.
Well, great. I forgot about the videos. Well, it is good to see you. And, you know, yeah, the other day my husband, you know, put up what you sent, right? So, right? I am correct, right? He put it up. I wanted to be brief. I am talking with you briefly because one other winner, who is a girl in India, a little older than you.
Oh, I thought she was in Sri Lanka.
Well, there was one in India. We have one winner in Sri Lanka. We have several in India. And
the girl in India is called Anne?
What?
Is the girl named Anne, you know, the Indian girl?
No, she won last year. She did not win this year, and I think she was a little disappointed.
What was her name? Anne?
Forget her last name, but her first name is indeed Anne. And
I think her last name is sort of Safrik or something. I forgot.
Yeah, something similar. I do not remember at the moment.
Did she go like this? Oh, why did I get the championship?
Well, she's 17 years old. She's a teenager. You have seen teenagers, and we all know that teenagers can be a little weird sometimes. I will tell you, I was very weird when I was a teenager. Okay? So anyway, I want to be brief because one of them wished to call me. We have several winners in India. For some reason, they are usually our biggest country in terms of how many entrants and how many winners.
So
probably because there's a lot of people.
By the way,
yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, of course.
Okay, when I get the lifetime winner, will she be even sad about that?
Well, I will be a little happy and I will be a little sad. I will be a little sad that you will not be entering again, but I will.
At least I'll give her. At least she's entering after I got the lifetime winner.
Yeah. Well, sometimes
she'll be happy about that.
Well, I'm always happy that people get an honor that they deserve. Of course, it means I'm a little sad. I don't see their handwriting in my entry pile again. But, you know, I'm not the only person in the world. The world is full of people who should see beautiful handwriting. Okay?
And there's another one who, okay, there's a photo of that person and, you know, there's a picture of his hand, which are super short. What is his name?
Well, his name is Gladstone. He is 34 years old. He is an engineer in India, and he is also a calligrapher, and he has been for many years. And I only came to know his story very recently. For many years previously, I had known him as a colleague, and I had seen his handwriting when he entered, you know, but I did not know much about him. You know, I don't ask for a lot of details. So, well, so I saw it, so he entered, and of course he won. Now, a very interesting story about him, even before we get to his hand problem, he is one of, well, two of our winners this year, both of whom were people from India, had handwriting so good that one of our directors thought it was a font. And so this director wished to disqualify this person and another person, a young man.
By the way, look at this. Selfie!
Yeah, so this man and another young person was the other one, Narendra, I can't remember the last name, Narendra Madanagopal. And so the youngest director with the least experience wrote to me and said, Kate, what's wrong? You have to disqualify these people. They didn't even write. They typed something in a font and sent it in. And I said, I will have to prove to you this is not a font.
My dad told me all about that.
Yeah, so that's right. Anyway, so this one person, Lakshman, he sent me at one point a video, and I said, oh, wow, he's left-handed. Not that many left-handed people are good writers. It's a little harder if you're a left-handed person. Oh, and so I was amazed, and I talked to him and said, you know, I know in India they don't often like to let a person be left-handed. If they are, they will teach a person to write with the right hand. But your teacher did not force you. That's good. He said, well, I will have to show you why my teacher did not force me. And he held up his hands on the video.
Yes, like this.
And I said, oh, wow. And he told me his story, which you can actually read. And you can read in one of the articles I linked to. He was an orphan when he was 3 years old. And his mother's brother brought him up a little bit. And then he was sent to an orphanage. And he could not go and see his parents. And what he did was, when the other children wanted to write letters to their parents, he wrote the letters for them because his handwriting was much better than theirs.
Wow.
And, yeah, I found out.
What type of lettering was... Okay, what type of letters they wrote? It looks a bit like italic letters.
Letters like anyone writes home from school or from summer camp, like, you know, dear mother and father.
Okay, I mean the script.
I'm doing fine. I'm doing this.
I'm doing that.
Math. What did people write home? So he would write everything for them. And, you know, I found out actually, he not only doesn't have fingers on his right hand, also on both his feet, he doesn't have any toes.
By the way, can I ask you something about him? Okay, so when I saw his, his entry, I thought that the script that he wrote in looked a bit like italic script, but it looked a little bit different.
Yeah, well, he writes, as many people do, his own version of italic.
A bit like block lettering.
Yeah, many people, and I am one of them, when we write any script, if we use it as our daily handwriting, and I use italic, and I think he also does, as a daily handwriting, naturally there are small differences. I do not require anyone to do absolutely perfect italic or Madaraja or Palmer or Spencerian. If it's legible, coherent, good, holds together, that's fine. Doing it absolutely perfectly by the book, everything in line with the model is a wonderful thing to see and is very difficult to achieve. But if the handwriting is good for what it is, I'm not going to, take off marks because someone is an individual. He is using, italic as it comes out of his own hand. I think of it the way I think of people's individual voices when they speak. We are both speaking the same language, but your voice is different from mine. And even if you studied English for 20 years and you worked on pronunciation for 3 hours every day, you would still sound different just because you are you and I am I. And
a bit like the script. You write your script, I write mine. Exactly. And you have your style, I have my style.
Exactly, yeah. It doesn't mean that I cannot teach. If I want to go and copy the style of some book to teach someone to do it exactly, I can do it with effort. And, just as you do it, it doesn't mean you always do it. If I studied Chinese, for instance, let's say I wanted to study Chinese and I wanted to learn to speak, understand, read, and write Chinese. I would try to do everything perfectly. I would try to say every word, every tone perfectly. Ni hao ma. But even if I learned, perfectly, you could still tell something. A trained actor or someone like that can exactly simulate someone else's voice. Most of us, cannot do it or have no need to do it. But, he is doing a form of italic, a little heavier and a little more slanted than the standard. But, he is doing it very well. Now, I do not, ask if someone is doing it with their left hand, their right hand, their feet, their mouth. I don't ask that. No, it could happen. There are some people who have injuries and they lose their arms in wartime, or something was wrong with them when they were babies in their mother and the arms never grew. In fact, I have a friend, a colleague, who long ago she worked for another handwriting company, a copybook company, and they had a contest, which they still have, and in that contest, which is only for children and only for children who use their copybook, They have a special category for anyone who has a disability, a physical disability that affects writing. They have a special prize that every year it goes to, someone with no arms or no hands. Oh, you have a nice room. Mine is not so terribly nice. I'm sitting in the corner of my living room, and you can see I did this on the wall myself. I want to see you.
It looks a bit like your bedroom.
But
there's a dragon.
Well, thank you very much. One thing I have, maybe you cannot see, I did some calligraphy many years ago. It is unwise to play leapfrog with a unicorn.
By the way,
yeah.
What is that black thing on your wall that looks a bit like a dragon?
Well, it actually is a dragon. It is a griffin. It is a mythological animal.
I thought it looked a little bit like a dragon.
And I got it because I was able to get this from Amazon. They sell vinyl kits that have pieces of vinyl, and you can put them together to make, animals or flowers or whatever the kit is for. Now you're going to see my windows are going up. I have a timer on my windows, and every day, 2 hours after sunrise, it opens the windows, except it's a very smart timer, and I've programmed it that if there is rain or snow, it will not open the window.
In my country, we call that a Western type of gadget, because a bit like this, this. There's a type of light, a lamp or a light, whatever. When it is light, when someone comes in, it is on, and when someone is out, it turns dark.
Yeah. I have a light bulb with a camera that does it. On my porch, there is a fixture for a light bulb, and 3 weeks ago, my husband and I put in a special light bulb that is really a camera. It looks like just a light bulb that's turned off, but what it really is a camera with infrared, and if anyone comes, that person is photographed, and the photograph is transmitted to a place on the internet that stores the movie for 2 weeks. So
wow!
We'll know who did it. Yeah.
Well, a bit like Vice Cam?
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It is a spy cam, but it looks just like a light bulb, and it's powered by the light socket. And you can set it to turn on if you want. We normally don't.
That's super cool.
Even a program you could use to talk to people through the light bulb. But I don't like to turn it on because, it takes time to turn it on. I would have to leave it on all day. But if I want to, let's say I'm sitting and I am sick and I cannot get up and I see the mailman come, I could tell him through the light bulb if he could not hear me. Let's say I'm in the other end of the house, not the living room. I could tell him, please wait, I will be there in 2 minutes. Or if I happen to see someone and if I want to put on the app, I could tell them through light bulb, hey, get off my porch.
By the way,
there's not much danger of theft, but I do have this. So the light bulb has its own app. Now the blinds and some other things I have are actually controlled by Amazon Echo device and Alexa, and you can see it. And see it. Sometimes it makes a noise when I call its name. It makes it. Now listen to this. Alexa, what time is it in Taiwan?
In Taiwan, it's 10:06 p.m.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
wait, your Alexa is a bit like Siri, like this.
Yeah,
okay.
Like Siri.
It's a bit like our Siri.
Siri on my phone and my tablet and everything else. Look. I'm going to ask you things I don't know. Hey, Siri, what year was Taiwan founded? She's not talking. Sometimes she doesn't talk.
Shout at her.
Sometimes she doesn't talk. I don't know. Sometimes I can't get her to turn on.
Can you turn it on again and then speak a bit louder?
Hey, I'm going to just see. I'm on my tablet. I'm going to turn on my phone. Hey, Siri. What year was Taiwan founded? She put up the answer. I have her on silent mode, but she put up, see? You can put her on silent mode. Did you know that?
According to Wikipedia, it's January the 1st.
1912. Okay? Well, you check. That sounds about right to me, but I will tell you, I slept through a lot of history classes when I was a little girl your age, so you will know the answer better than I do. Okay, so I could ask Alexa, I had this Siri on mute. The current software, there's a place you can turn it to be silent. So, now, I am glad to speak with you. Now, I have to get off. I have to reach someone else because today there is, as they say, a young lady from India who has been trying to reach me. Also...
you mean Anne again?
Not Anne. This is a different person. I think her name is Shirata or something. It is not Anne,
Shirata?
She's not reaching me. I will typically...
by the way, are you going to tell her that, there's a friend, one of my friends won the competition and she actually did a Zoom call with me and we chatted about.
Well, I'm probably not going to tell. I try not to gossip. Now, I normally do talk to people at least once or twice. I like to see them on video at least once if possible.
So,
now, today and the next few days will be rather busy for me. One, right as I was trying to connect to this other person, the one in India, and she's a teenage girl, one of our several winners from India. I got a message from a colleague that I should call him about a joint project. And he is also in another country. He's in Brazil. It's about 10 in the morning there. Where you are, it's 10. Now it's 10:09 in the evening. Where he is, it's 10:09 in the morning. He is in the southern part of Brazil. If you found Brazil on a map and you touched the bottom point of Brazil, that would be where he is.
It's the California time.
Well, now, Brazil's not California time. See, I am in the Eastern time zone, and here it is 9:10 a.m. He is in the Atlantic time zone, which is 1 hour ahead of us. So where he is, it's 10:10 a.m. Now, in California, it is 6:10 a.m. The USA has 8 time zones, really, but 4 of them are on the continent, and the others are for places like Alaska and Hawaii. So I have enough friends in California. Most people
about Las
live in
Vegas?
New York, they know to go California time, we just subtract 3. Because many people on the East Coast, where I am, naturally have friends on the West Coast, where California is. So our biggest time zone in the U.S. are Eastern, where I live, Central, which it's the eastern part of the country, but not the part that's near the coast. Then Mountain, which is the west of the country, but not near the coast. And where all the mountains are? Well, most of the mountains. And Pacific, which is where California is. So unlike Taiwan or China or India, we do have a lot of time zones. If you watch American...
And Sri Lanka too.
Yeah, right. Sri Lanka has whatever.
I've just looked up the country called Sri Lanka. I've noticed that there's a lion on the flag as a symbol.
That's right.
It is a bit like their coat of arms. Like in the UK, they have the lion and the unicorn.
Well, yeah, England has the lion, and the UK has the lion and the unicorn. And in the USA, we have
the eagle with the spears,
actually a
the
special
arrows,
species
and
of eagle which just lives in
the bald eagle.
Yes, they get that white head when they are adults. When they are young, they are just brown or black. They get that white head when they are 4 years old, they are adult, and their feathers on their head become white. I will tell you a funny story. When the USA was being founded, and people were discussing what animal they would like to have as the symbol. And as you know, the eagle won out. But one of our greatest Americans,
They chose a donkey?
He wanted it to be the turkey. And he wanted it
I think it sort of symbolizes America too. No wonder they have Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
no wonder.
Because the turkey, live only in America, but different kinds of eagles live in many different countries. Also, he knew an eagle lives by attacking smaller birds and animals and eating them, whereas a turkey is a vegetarian and attacks only in self-defense. And, you know, turkeys are a little bigger, and he thought they were
very noisy.
Well, the turkey didn't win. In fact, you know, turkeys, unfortunately, they make these silly noises, go, 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 and they gobble, as we call it, and they're said to be rather stupid. If you go to America and you call someone a turkey, it's a big insult. You're saying they're a stupid, obnoxious idiot. So, you know, even though we love to eat turkey, especially at Thanksgiving,
that's true.
Don't ever call someone a turkey. It's very bad.
I would be very angry if someone said that I was a turkey.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I will definitely hit the roof.
Yeah, you would definitely.
Or hit the wall.
Yeah, well, so don't do it. By the way, I should tell you, we get news updates on this. You missed it, but this device, this Alexa, just flashed a news update that the World Cup is having, you know, their Portugal game, you know, the Portugal team is there. I don't know sports, but you can set this so it displays the news and that sort of thing.
I don't really know about that. The World Cup has got its own mascot, which is an armadillo.
Yeah, well, I am not surprised. You know,
the trophy is a ball. Okay, a soccer ball.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what we expect it to be. I don't know if you have ever seen American football. You know, we have soccer, but we also have
American football.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that? Maybe on television?
Well, I've seen that. Okay.
Yeah.
The ball looks a bit like a nut.
Basically, American football, you know, it's like a little bit of soccer, a lot of rugby, and a lot of our own ideas.
And very exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting. My husband loves to watch football. You know, most American men, you know, they love to go. In fact, on Thanksgiving, you know, when I was with my husband's family, they had this TV on, this big TV with a football game, and the guys were watching it the whole time. So, anyway, I'd love to talk, but I don't spend my whole life, you know, talking with winners. It's good to talk with you.
Okay.
I certainly hope to see your writing next year. I hope you will understand if, you know, you probably won't hear from me, but I wanted to get in touch with you for, you know, long enough, you know, just to see personally what you look like and just to catch you up.
By the way.
Yeah?
Okay, my dad told me that, okay, so you said that your computer was broken?
It was before. It's okay now. It was really some network trouble, and I didn't want to spend too much time.
By the way, okay, so I wanted to say, could I win the lifetime winner? Because I will get to, if I got the lifetime winner, okay, I will get to see my best friend Shing, and Kestrel, and Harvest, and Suzanne.
Really? Why will you get to see them if you were...
Because, okay, Kestrel once asked me a question, okay, in our class. She asked me, I hope that we can see you as Master Pam and Janie. And she asked me if we could meet each other in the future. And Harvest was hoping about that too, and I said yes. She was hoping about that too.
You can arrange to meet people on your own, great. You know, I do not have the budget to arrange meetings or bring people together.
Okay, I mean in the future.
Do this, from our retirement money and from my business money that I get teaching handwriting. We cannot call ourselves wealthy people. You know, we're not Donald Trump. We're not Bill Gates. We're not Elon Musk.
Okay, I mean, in the future, with only myself.
But I will tell you one thing. Now, do not tell anyone, but, we are hoping to have more people in the contest next year, more countries. There are some people who want to be directors and to add their countries. And one of the reasons I am very busy this week is, one, I have to evaluate their applications and then ask the other directors if they will accept these candidates. Probably they will. Now, I am hoping they accept these candidates because one thing that one of the candidates wishes to do, if he is accepted, is he makes type fonts, and he wishes in the future, if he is accepted, to every year make a type font from the handwriting of the world pen champ. So, you know, if you would enter next year and you would be the world pen champ, maybe you would have that. I cannot promise, because it will only happen, you know, if he can be accepted naturally. If he's accepted, he would, want to donate this service. Number two, I would request that you don't use the title Master Penman, even though you're a master of what you do. And the reason why is there is one handwriting organization that uses that title, but they use it only for the people who pass their very strict examination. And I know that you have not taken their examination. It is extraordinarily strict. Now, this is an organization called IAM. Yes, so they would not like you using their title because, I think that you probably will be able to qualify. So you know about them. And, you know, they will be very happy to hear from you. Now, there are some very good people in that organization.
Okay,
but
so
I have to tell you, and there are many very skillful people. I have to tell you, they do not particularly like me because they think that people who like italic are making things too easy, you know. Why would you do italic, you know, when there's Maharaj and there's Palmer and there's...
So they think that people who write Gothic or italic or cursive is stupid people? So they...
No, they don't think cursive is stupid. They like cursive. And they don't think Gothic black letter is
So they
stupid,
think that this...
But when they know that I write italic as my handwriting, they look at me and they say, "Oh, Kate, you're one of these people who don't even join all their letters, and you have a handwriting contest." In fact, one time in my whole life, I went to an IMPIF conference because at the time I had some friends in the organization who were trying to get the organization to be a little more favorable towards different and simpler styles of handwriting. So at one time I went, but I have to tell you, there were people there who hated me. I had an exhibit about the contest. That exhibit, that was in 2000. The last year that the contest was USA only was 2000. And after that, we became international. So I had my exhibit of the winners because we just judged. And there were people who said, well, she's got her exhibit on the floor, but we have to make a rule that she has to not show her exhibit. She has to turn the exhibit to the wall and only show the back of the blackboard. You know, had my exhibit.
By the way, excuse me, so when they see a Gothic or italic thing, they just go, oh, so boring.
They say it's good if it's done for art. But for handwriting, they only
they think that this type of script is okay, but not that okay.
And flexible, you know, they say it's okay for decoration, but I mean, their attitude is basically...
Marvelous, copperplate, Brazilian.
About Buddha, if you know what I mean. You know?
You said Buddha?
Buddha is like, they think about cursive and joining all the letters the way that some people think about Buddha or Jesus or something.
Oh!
It's like
a bit like, you know, these religions.
I think if you don't write in cursive for your everyday handwriting, you're nothing. So
a bit like the religions and their beliefs.
Stole something. They actually stole an inkwell that I had made and I had brought, which I was displaying. They actually stole something. I got nasty letters that were not signed. My husband got nasty letters. The person who had invited me there got a nasty letter. Now, one or two people came over and said, you know they're treating you wrong. We're on your side, but we're trying to fight them and we can't. So, please don't talk to us because we think you're right. We think you're not a bad person, that you'll get in trouble. But it was a privilege to see them, even though I did not renew my membership in the group and I did not come again. But I know that they're very skilled people. In fact, during that conference, I was privileged to see someone apply for his master penman position and to show his certificate, and it was an amazing thing. Of course, the rule to become a master penman is you design and produce your own certificate of being a master penman, and it has to have a certain number of styles, a certain size, certain everything, very strict requirements. And I was able to see him complete his because he was completing his right there before he was judged, and he did get the position. Let's see, if I remember, the certificate was, I think, it was, you would say, 2 meters long by 1.5 meters wide. It had about 8 different styles. It had colors. It had amazing details. It had illustrations. It was a really, really a very, very skillful production.
By the way,
I do not think I could do this, but I console myself with the fact that, well, if a person judges a beauty contest, they don't have to be beautiful. I do not know if you have ever seen my own handwriting. I will send you maybe.
I've seen that in your videos.
Yes, so you have. So good.
By the way, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you said all that, it reminds me about the beliefs. Okay, like all of these religions, like people who believe in Jesus. Okay, one of my classmates, whose name is Doris, she believes in Jesus, and she is. Wait, is that called Judaism or something?
Well, the ones who believe in Jesus are Christianity.
Okay, Christianity.
Jewish, which is my religion, and my husband's religion. Well, we're the religion that Christianity came from. Like Buddhism came from Hinduism. Well, there was this one Jewish person named Jesus, and
yes,
he had different ideas, and he is held
and
by
different beliefs.
Yeah. Okay,
so there are people who have those beliefs have got very strict rules. A bit like, such as this. Like this. If you are in Taoism, you can't eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
and in Christianity, if you believe in Jesus, you mustn't eat pig blood cake. Because they think the blood is sick. Okay.
Yeah, well, also in Judaism, you cannot eat blood. And in fact,
true.
In Judaism, in most Jewish groups, there are also rules about certain animals you cannot eat. And one of them is, in fact, the pig. I've never had
because they think pigs are dirty.
I have had pork, and I have had other things you're not supposed to eat, like eel, crab, so on. But I have a sister who is very, very strict as a Jew, and she follows every rule because when she got married, this was one of her husband's conditions that, if you marry me, you'll be in my family. You have to follow every rule. We did not grow up with this really.
Another rule.
It's like, just like there are some people who, they know what's in their religion, but, they don't, really believe in it. But my sister does, and she has 6 children, and none of them could even tell you what pork tastes like. They never ate it in their whole lives.
Okay, there's another thing.
Yeah.
There is a sort of, a belief in India. What is the name of that thingy? Okay,
Hinduism.
They say that, Hinduism?
Yeah,
they say that they can't eat beef because cows are very sacred to them and they are holy animals.
That's right, and many of my friends and colleagues are Hindus. Many of the winners are Hindus. Some are Muslim. The one from Sri Lanka is a Muslim, and I do not inquire what religion there is. I have to tell you, one year, about 10 years ago, one person wanted to help me with the contest, and she was a very good handwriter. She seemed like a good person, but she says, I want to help you with the contest, but I only want Christians to win because I am Christian. Can you please make it so that only Christians are involved in the contest? And I told her, no, that's not going to happen because...
And that's not fair.
It's nothing to do with handwriting. Plus, I'm Jewish. If you want only Christians involved, you have to kick me out. And I started this. And, you know, for several weeks after that, she sent me books and letters to try to persuade me to become Christian. But I said, you know, please don't, you know, please do not send this to me. It's not going to happen. You know, but people do feel about handwriting often very strongly, just as they feel strongly about their religions. In fact, if you think about it, if you think about how often a person would ever change their religion and how often a person might change their handwriting, people probably change their religion more often than
too many rules.
Yeah.
I'm thinking too many rules now.
Yeah, people deal with the rules that they want to have. Many of those rules began for good reasons, like you mentioned the rule about Hindus and cows. Well, you know, in the early days, before Hinduism was as it was now, you know, in like, you know, thousands of years ago, you know, at one point they did have people who ate beef, but one thing that happened was they had famines, and if you just milk a cow, you can feed more people than if you killed a cow. And some people think that this is why that rule began. They would protect the cows so they would have milk, because, you know, cows, you know, they eat grass, but they also eat grain that people could, you know, you could save people and keep more people alive if you tell them, you know, not to eat cows and other animals. So I have heard that this is one reason. I have heard that it is also because since we drink the milk from the cow, it's like the cow is your mother, you know, because you're drinking.
And then
milk.
you might think about the cow while you're drinking the milk.
Yeah, right. And you know, in Judaism we have no problem eating beef, but you know, a Jew who really, really believes in the religion, someone like my sister, they don't eat milk and meat at the same meal, or even, you know, or even near each other. If my sister eats something with meat, she won't drink milk for 6 hours afterwards. And that's actually from a rule that's in the Bible, that you should not cook a calf in the milk of its mother. And, you know, and it's supposed to be that this is supposed to be a rule.
It's very similar, okay, to the Taoism rule. To the Taoism rule, don't kill animals that are that. Don't kill animals because you might, because the animals, they can't eat meat.
Actually, she eventually became a vegetarian. Her husband isn't, her kids aren't, but she became one because it was just easier than trying to, you know, make sure she only, you know, because the rules about meat in Judaism are very, like, difficult rules. Don't eat this, don't eat that, don't put milk with the meat, you know. And so it was easy. She just said, you know, I'm just not going to eat meat. I'm going to be a vegetarian. I'll have eggs, I'll have milk, fine, you know, but not really, yeah. But her husband is not a vegetarian. Her children are not. I mean, but, you know, we have a lot of religions in the USA, even some very strange ones.
Like what?
Like, for instance, I have some friends who are in a religion that is called Wicca, W-I-C-C-A, which is basically like polytheism and animism. You know, they have many gods and they worship, like, you know, trees and the sun and the moon and the ocean and, you know, all kinds of things.
And all kinds of things.
She was brought up Jewish like me, but, you know, at some point she joined us, you know. And, you know, it's like a folk religion. It's like when they worship, you know, they have dances and they have parties and they have things and they believe that they're different.
Our country has got that, exactly. Because we have these plays, which we use some puppets and some, a bit like, what do you call it? A carnival or something?
Yes, yes.
The carnival party? Okay, everyone goes out and then there are these drums and the dragon and nine dance and then even floats with a phoenix. I saw that.
I've seen that because in New York City, where I grew up, there is a part where a lot of Chinese people live. It's called Chinatown.
I know that. It sells all sorts of J things.
English, you will, if you go there on Chinese New Year, you'll see the dragon, the tiger, the phoenix, the parade, the festivals, the fireworks.
And the 4 constellations?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know everything that's going on, but you will see, if you go there Chinese New Year, they have the whole celebration, they have everything. A lot of people in New York City go to that part of town because there are the best Chinese restaurants. Most people in the USA like Chinese food, but, you know, the best Chinese restaurants, of course, are where the Chinese people live. The others are very, very Americanized, you know? I'll give you an example. When you have egg foo young, you have it with the egg whites, and it puffs up, and it's so light and delicious. And when we have egg foo young, you know, Americans, you know, too many Americans like fatty foods, so they leave out the egg whites, and it's just flat, and it just lies there, you know? It's good, but it's different. But if you go to Chinatown, you can get the real thing if you know where to go, you know?
By
so
the way,
everyone in New York knows if you want a real Chinese meal, you go and you take the subway or your car into Chinatown. You walk around, you look for the restaurants that have the signs in Chinese. You look in the windows.
Sometimes I look for a very special book. I look for something special.
Yeah, in fact, a number of New Yorkers even have learned to eat with chopsticks when they go to a Chinese restaurant. I actually have a pair of chopsticks here. Obviously not to eat with, but sometimes I keep them around, you know, just so I can have something, just if I want to pick up something, if it falls off the couch, like, you know, how you're working with, how you sew sometimes and it falls down, I don't want to dent it, I just pick it up. So I actually learned in a Chinese restaurant when I was young.
By the way,
You know, my father asked the waiter, could you please show my children how to eat with chopsticks? And I learned. I won't say I'm perfect, but I learned. My husband tried, you know, he gave up, you know. He tried to learn when he was much older, and it's difficult. But I will tell you, I've had Chinese food, and you talk about Taoists a lot. In New York City, there is one Chinese restaurant that's run by Taoists. It's called Vegetarian Paradise, so it's all vegetables, obviously.
and paradise too. Okay, I was imagining it like this. Okay, with moss for fake green carpet or some fake rocks that look a bit like the wall, and then a fake waterfall that looks exactly like water flowing over it, and then maybe a fish pond here or there.
It looks like more a real restaurant, and even though the food is vegetarian, the cooks are very clever, and they make it look and taste exactly like meat. So if you go there and you order, you know, pork buns, they'll serve you something, it will be called pork buns, look like pork buns, taste like pork buns, but really it's made from different kinds of plants and spices and things. And, you know, and it looks, you know, just like a real restaurant, you know, that you would, you know, an ordinary restaurant. And I have heard that when they hire people, they like to hire cooks who are vegetarians, but they look for ones who previously ate meat, because this way they know that the cook will remember what it's supposed to taste like.
By the way,
Yeah.
I've just looked up I just looked up, you know, Sri Lanka, and I saw that they believe their religion is Islam. Okay,
Yeah.
the very strange thing about this is that when the Islams bow, they bow with their whole body,
Yeah.
which is a bit weird. So I was thinking, okay, so why bow with all of your whole body? Why not just bow?
In Judaism, there is one holiday that's the holiest day of the year when we bow with our whole body. You know, they do it all the time, you know, and they bow towards, you know, their central religious location, which is Mecca, which is a place in Saudi Arabia where they have, you know, their central mosque, their central house of worship. So, in fact, if you're a Muslim, you're supposed to get a special compass that has a little, indicator.
And that you're supposed to be queen.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, our discussion has gone very far afield from the subject of handwriting. It is late. It is, I think, 10:37 p.m. where you are. Your mother and father would probably like you to go to bed.
Okay, by the way, I've got some more
school for you.
homework to do, so I better go and do it now. It was nice talking to you, anyway. I hope that we can see each other again.
Well, maybe, although I will tell you, when it is contest winners, I usually confine the conversation to contest business, but I wanted to talk with you, just because you had been so persistent in trying to reach me. But you're right, Islam is a very interesting religion, I think they all are, and it's very good that you are so interested in learning so much about the different peoples and traditions of the world. Now, as I say, I cannot call myself a wealthy woman, but if I ever travel, one day I hope to come to Taiwan, and if I know that I will ever come to Taiwan, if I have any opportunity, I will learn Chinese. I know a few words to say. You heard, I can say xie. I can say ni hao ma. I can say a few things like that. I can recognize a few characters. I cannot write them. One thing I tried to learn one thing to say in a Chinese restaurant so that they would give me chopsticks. I learned to say wo ai kuai zi, but I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But they understand when I'm saying I want chopsticks. Yeah.
By the way, there's something I want to ask you.
If you want chopsticks, you have to say this. If you're American and you go to a Chinese restaurant in Taiwan, I guess you have to say wo ai chow.
That's really funny.
I know my accent is probably horrible, but I know how to say "guo shimo." And what's that?
What's that?
Right? Yeah. So I do try.
By the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so about the magazine. Okay, so will it get reached to my principal? Because if the principal gets it, she'll probably know that I'm in 5th grade class 4. Be sure to give it to my principal. I don't want it falling into the wrong hands, because if it falls into the wrong hands, somebody might just tear it.
I will tell your principal. I don't send the magazine, but you have to realize I have to write letters. Let me tell you about my week, and you'll understand that this is an average busy week for me, and you'll see how busy I am. I will tell you what my week is like, and you realize this is
and the newspapers.
Amount of business. Half of my are more busy than this. Okay, today I have to write letters today and tomorrow
and talk to Anne.
Letters, email, and to the schools of the ones who have to go to school, like you. I try to do this today and tomorrow. I should have done it yesterday, but I have a migraine. If you know what a migraine is, it's the kind of headache you have from your head. Okay, then I still have to talk to a colleague who urgently needs to speak with me this morning, this man in Brazil. Then I have 4 other people I did not reach yesterday for business. Then the mail will come, and I will have to go through all the mail. Then probably more phone calls will come from business. Then I have to... The story will be about bad handwriting. People who had good handwriting when they were young, but later on their handwriting
is bad.
And
I've seen a video about that.
So of course he interviewed me because I used to have bad handwriting and I became good, and now
I did see that in your article.
I have students and I see them through Zoom or in person, and I have to prepare because on Monday I have a student who is a little older than you, and she will be on Zoom video with me, and she will be from the state of Texas, about Oh God, they were just something like 2,000
Paris, Texas?
Texas, which is, it's in the southern central part of the USA. If you look at a map of the USA,
okay,
that big state that touches Mexico, that's Texas. And so
Paris,
this is a very important young lady because she is about 12 years old. And she's very smart, but she has great difficulty with handwriting and also with spelling, so we will work on that too. Because she is making good progress with her handwriting after just one lesson, but she needs more. And of course, you have to work on her spelling, because if you have good handwriting, you know it, that's just horrible. And she's very smart, and I want to do well with her because her mother is paying me well because her mother is a federal judge. Yeah, her mother's a judge. So her mother is probably the most important parent of anyone I ever worked with.
So,
Really?
by the way,
You know,
okay, so if the newspapers and the magazines are here, can you just save me 2 copies of them because I really want to see my face.
What do you want copies of?
Okay, if my video is in the newspapers or in the magazines,
I'm not send copies because I would be up doing nothing else. But you know, this year we had 24 winners. If I have to keep track of the media for everyone, I don't have time to do anything else. I used to try that and I never had. But what you can do is you can search your own name and the word handwriting on the internet. Like you go to news.google.com and you search Jamie Lynn handwriting, and if there was a story about you, it will probably come up. And I would also suggest that when you get the letter, which I intend to provide today or tomorrow, and I can get through all of my business, including...
By the way, I'm typing it right now.
That's where you are. If I can do this, because I committed to do this today, and I don't like to break my promises, you know, you will get this letter, and then you can show it to your school. Your school will get a copy because it will be emailed, so you can...
And then our principal will tell us about the news.
If your parents, listen to me, excuse me, Jamie, I would recommend that when I write and send this letter, and I want to spend the whole morning and afternoon planning it, and then the evening sending it out everywhere. Boom, 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 letter. Yeah, because, see, I don't go, because I have to do it efficiently, so I don't write the letter, send the letter, write another letter, send. I write them all together, and then I send them all together. So it takes a lot of time because I have to spend the day, you know, I write one letter, and then I take it, and I change the name and the address, and I change the statement of what they, you know, what is their rank.
Excuse me. I just typed it in and then it said writing on Jamboard because my stupid computer doesn't know anything about handwriting. Okay, it just wrote stupid Jamboard. It just wrote handwriting on Jamboard.
I know. I've heard Jamboard is great.
But
I want to tell you, so I tell you, what kind of computer do you have?
Apple iMac. Even though it's a very stupid computer.
Because you can actually get a handwriting recognition app for that one.
I didn't. Because my computer hasn't got these apps. It has only got some stupid apps. By the way, let me show it to you.
Yeah. Look, when you're a little older and you get to buy apps, you know, the Google app is pretty good. On my tablet, I use an app called Notes Plus, which
I've got that one. It is called Pages.
Pages is good. Yeah, Pages, you can do it with an Apple Pencil. I use Pages a lot, but if I want to write by hand, I use an app called Notes Plus. NOTESPLUS. Not a plus sign, that's a different app, but the word spelled out. And this is an iPad, iPhone.
By the way, I sort of have that too, a notepad.
Every kind of pen, colors, and if you write and your handwriting is legible, you can select what you wrote and have it turned into text.
Okay, so mine is a computer and I don't have a pen, so I just type it. Wait, did I see something?
It's all right.
My computer is still talking me nonsense.
But you know, I will tell you, I'm going to get home in 12 minutes, and it will be 11 o'clock where you are. Much too too late for little girl on a school night. But what I was telling you is, I want to tell you what my week was. You know, average week is.
Okay.
And keep in mind that this is on top of things that everyone else, that anyone must do. You know, housework and answering the mail and paying bills, whatever. So I have students by Zoom, and one of them is a little older than you, and she is, as I say, a difficult case, and she just began. She's.
I saw her name, Anne Maria. I saw her name.
Yeah, that
Look.
is the previous winner. Yes, yes, indeed.
Okay, I saw it.
Yes. Now she did not win this year. She entered.
Okay, it says that her. Okay, it is on the Kerala Community News.
Yeah.
I wonder if there is a Janie Ning in the Kerala Community
When
News.
she got the official letter of her victory, she contacted her. Obviously, she told her parents. She told her school. She told her relatives. And she told the TV, radio, and newspapers where she is. And I would recommend that your parents and your
Sometimes
teacher
I mustn't. Sometimes I don't think I want to do that because I think somebody might try to break into my computer.
Well, I have to get off. I don't want that to happen. And I have to go do a lot of things now which are not things I can do on the computer, I have to do that, get them out of the way, phone back my colleague who probably thinks I died because normally I respond to him much more quickly. Then I have to call someone else who wishes to speak with me.
Wow, it's all over the news about that Kerala girl.
I need to interview some people who are being considered as contest directors, I have, and this is an average amount of busy work for me. In other words, by an average, that means half of my weeks are even more busy. And if I don't do my work right now, this day will turn into a much busier day tomorrow because I have to catch up with everything.
By the way, I just typed in my name and then it just showed another stupid girl called Nini.
I have to talk with everyone
Okay,
as much,
so
and I wouldn't wait for me.
Bye for now.
Well, goodbye then.
Bye.
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 Bye. Let's turn this off. I never. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Turn this thing. There we go. There we go. Come on, try it. There we go. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. I'm trying to turn it off. It doesn't want to.